Hello everyone, Bob here. Today we're going to take a look at the Criterion release of Night of the Living Dead, the 1968 original. Now this film was directed by George Romero. There's the front. There's the side. It's spine number 909. Here's the back. Talks about it has a new 4K digital restoration. Of course, the other side looks just like the other one, except it's where the the case slides out of the sleeve. The top and bottom are plain. Some more artwork here. Actually, if you open it up like this, oops, excuse me, you kind of see it makes a nice little one solid picture all the way across. You flip it over, of course, have the discs. Then you have this one insert. The insert folds out, and on one side you get the illustration of Karen. Of course, if you've seen the movie, you know she becomes a zombie. And on the back side of the Karen poster on the insert is the requisite essay that goes along with any and all Criterion releases. Sorry, it's a little glossy there, so you get reflection real easy. And then, of course, you get the credits of the release and the acknowledgments and special thanks and all that jazz over here. Night of the Living Dead had its theatrical premiere on October 1st, 1968. The film was shot on a $114,000 budget, roughly, and grossed approximately $12 million on its initial release. There was some controversy at the time it was released because it was considered explicit in terms of gore. Of course, it's very tame by today's standards. Plus, the film is also famous because the distributor messed up the copyright claim, copyright title that didn't appear underneath the film's title. Interestingly enough, when the film was originally, the film originally had another title, and then when it was changed to Night of the Living Dead, that's when the copyright notice was removed from the prints. And since it was removed from the prints, the film is considered public domain for many years. Now, the new 4K restoration is considered a copyright protected. Night of the Living Dead is one of those classic horror films. Any horror fan knows they're coming to get you, Barbara. And of course, that has its own jokes and references in films like Shaun of the Dead. But in the film, Barbara and her brother Johnny are going to decorate a grave, and they're attacked by what turns out to be a zombie. And Johnny, of course, is killed at the beginning, and Barbara runs and gets away from him, and she takes up refuge in this farmhouse along with a couple who also sought refuge in this farmhouse with another guy and his family and daughter who had been bitten. This film is one of those films that set the industry standard for zombies. Most things that we accept as quote-unquote zombie gospel today came from this film, such as Kill the Brain, Kill the Ghoul, they're flesh eaters, a lot of that stuff. Although around before this film, this is what brought it to the mainstream. Perhaps the most important driving character of the film is a character named Ben. He shows up at the farmhouse first, or makes himself known to Barbara first, and Barbara at this point is completely catatonic. She's in complete shock, and Ben has about with around him to devise a plan, and he tries to set up a defense perimeter around board up the windows and make the house to where it's protected. One of the people I mentioned earlier in the basement, the one that has the wife and daughter who was bitten, his name's Harry, and he tries to fight Ben every step of the way. Harry wants to hide in the cellar, while Ben sees the cellar as a death trap and thinks if he goes down there, there's no way out should the door to the cellar give way. Now, the way it's done, it makes you sympathize with Ben's plight and casts Harry as the villain, other than the zombies. Of course, the zombies are the main villains in this film. But overall, this movie is famous for being kind of a downer at the end. All 6 of the people that take refuge in the farmhouse die. You have Ben, unfortunately, is mistaken for a zombie at the end. Barbara is killed by a zombie version of her brother, Johnny. Harry and Helen Cooper are both killed. Helen is killed by her daughter, and Harry dies from some gunshot wounds. He is when him and Ben get into a fight, Ben takes care of him. And Tom and Judy are killed. There is a plot in the movie where they are trying to fuel up a truck so they can escape, and they try to take the old truck that's on fumes down to the fuel pump on the farm, and they, after an accident, they are killed in an explosion. So, like I say, all of them die, and if you didn't know, the daughter of the couple is the Karen that's in the poster. She turns into the zombie. This version of Night of the Living Dead is the best this film has looked. I do also own the other Blu-ray release that came out a couple of years ago. And when you compare the two, this one had, you can tell, had more it was almost a labor of love, I think, with this film. They went in, redid it. Almost everything Criterion puts out is good in terms of the quality of the audio and the video, and so their work on this, it stands out. Like I said, this one has the new 4K digital restoration that was supervised by Romero himself before he died, and whenever you get the original people involved in it, it's bound to stand out. It's not like the that one release of Halloween that the color timing was messed up on, but we're not going to talk about that in this video. The extras are good. If you're a fan of the Night of the Living Dead, this, in my opinion, is the definitive version to own. Yeah, I realize there's like the 30th anniversary release and all that, but skip that. Those added scenes mess up the original film. This is the unaltered version of the film that horror fans should see. It's the best it's ever going to look, I think. And if you're a fan of the film, check it out. Video, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Audio, I mean, you're talking about a black and white movie that was filmed on low budget, so there's only so much they can do with it, but it looks incredible for as old as it is, and what little they had to work with. Audio wise, the mono soundtrack, it sounds good. It's, in my estimation, that's a good interpretation of what the original audio track sounded like in the theater. The extras are good. Like audio, I want to give it 8.5 out of 10, and the film itself, it is a horror masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Guys, thanks for checking out my channel today and watching my review of the Criterion release of Night of the Living Dead. That's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing to this channel. I try to have new content daily. It doesn't always work that way, but that is my goal. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Just search for Bob the Film Guy. I'll try to keep everything updated there. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay safe. This is Bob, signing off.